I want to tell you about one of the biggest college football coaching mistakes I have ever seen in my life and what it has to do with your retirement. October 7th, 2023, the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets are down in Miami playing the Hurricanes Saturday night. It was an amazing atmosphere. Miami is up winning the game 20-17 in the fourth quarter with 35 seconds left to go in the football game. Georgia Tech has no timeouts left. Miami has the football. The announcer, Jesse Palmer, says, "I don't know what in the world the University of Miami is doing running the ball when there's only 35 seconds left and Georgia Tech has no timeouts left." The next play, Miami hands the football off to the running back. He scoots for a few yards but fumbles the football. Georgia Tech recovers the football with 26 seconds left. All University of Miami had to do was to get in the victory formation, bend a knee, and let the clock run out, and they would have won the football game. But what they did is they ran a running play when they should have never done that. The running back fumbled. Georgia Tech recovers the football with 26 seconds to go. Next play, Georgia Tech throws a 30-yard pass completion, moves the football, first down. They run up to line up, spike the football, and they stop the clock. They run up to the next play. There's 13 seconds left. They spike the football to stop the clock. Now they have 10 seconds to go. The Georgia Tech quarterback, he rolls out, throws a pass play, puts it right in the hands, right in the basket of the wide receiver. He glides into the end zone, scores a touchdown. Now Georgia Tech is up, and there's 1 second left to go in the game. Jesse Palmer, the announcer, says this is one of the biggest coaching mistakes he has ever seen in his entire lifetime. All Miami had to do was line up, go into the victory formation, put the knee down, run out the clock, and they won the game. You were saying, "Pete, why are you telling me this football story?" Because sometimes what I've seen over the past 30-something years is good people have accumulated a really good size nest egg in their IRA, their 401k, whatever investments. They've basically won the game for retirement. All they have to do is take the victory formation, make sure they make some of it safe, don't keep it all at risk, and risk losing the game. So the takeaway from this story is to make sure you don't make a big mistake if you're really close to retirement or you're in retirement and you're taking so much risk that you actually are risking your retirement success and how it will play out. You want to make sure to make some of your money safe, guaranteed, and protected, and you want to make sure to have some of it stay in growth. But if you have everything at risk in growth, you run making the same mistake the University of Miami did. You've won the game, you just got to take a knee, make sure that some of it's protected, and then with some of it you can take some risk. But don't keep everything at risk. So the biggest mistake is having way too much of your money, way too much of your nest egg at risk in the stock market. If you have almost everything in stocks, bonds, mutual funds, and ETFs, you run the risk, if you're close to retirement or in retirement, of running out of money prematurely if we were to have a big stock market crash. The older you and I are, remember, we have less time to recover from a big stock market loss. So we want to make sure as we get older, we make changes to what we're doing. Just like Miami made a poor decision to keep going for it, keep taking risk, hand the ball off. Some of you might be taking way too much risk if you're very close to retirement or in retirement. You want to make sure that you don't make a big mistake. It's not that the market will never come back, but it may not come back in the time you need it to. So as we get older, we want to make adjustments. We want to make some money safe, guaranteed, and protected, and yet keep some in growth. But we don't want it all at risk. We just want some of it there. We want to make sure that you win the game of retirement. So the first question is, why are some of you taking so much risk with your money in the stock market if you've already won the game? Why don't you get in victory formation with some of your money, again, having some of it safe, secure, and protected, and then keep some at risk and growth, just not everything there. The answer for some of you is to take some of your gains off the table and make them safe while they're still gains. Don't jeopardize the fun and excitement you plan on having in retirement with taking way too much risk. So if you're watching this video and you're saying, "Well, Pete, can you tell me what a winning retirement or a safe, secure retirement looks like, I would say that what we could do is talk about time bucketing your retirement. So the finance part we talk about in other videos and the bucket planning, but now let me just tell you what I think a lot of people really are planning for, whether they have this strategy or not, but it's using time buckets. So if you are going to look at your retirement in 3 different stages, because we want you to get to retirement and then we want you to get through retirement. One way to look at this with your money and to make sure that it's a successful retirement for you is to look at time bucket planning. So let me just show you briefly what that looks like. So we might look at, if we were talking, having a cup of coffee together, I would like to know, what are you going to do the next 7 to 10 years? So let's say that maybe this is in your 60s, just for example. And if it doesn't apply exactly to you, just take away the big learning points that I'm trying to give you. It's just to plan for your money, not just with the dollars, but what you want to do with your time. So if you're in your 60s for that first period of retirement, maybe it's your 60s, early 70s, depending on where you're at today. This is the time that if you were a person that liked to hike, you're probably going to do more 60s in the first bucket of time bucket of planning than you are out here. Maybe you're somebody that does more active things. Okay, so if you're going to time bucket plan for retirement, we got to make sure the finances are there, but that's a separate video. Right now we're talking about how to get you to retirement and through it while thoroughly enjoying yourself. So the first bucket here, number 1, would be a younger stage of retirement. This is when you would be more active. You want to have plenty of money for the things that you want to do, to travel, for hobbies, to spend time with kids, grandkids, and so forth. Recently, I was talking to one of my clients. This is really unbelievable. And I was talking to this couple, and what they're doing in the time bucket planning, while they are taking an Alaskan cruise with 43 members of their family, an extended family, and they're paying for almost everybody. This is just something they really want to do. They want to experience the time with their kids, their grandkids, have everybody together, laughing, having fun, and building memories. One of the books that I've read that talks about this is a book called Die with Zero by Bill Perkins. And he says something in there that I think makes a lot of sense. He talks about creating memory dividends. Yeah, we talk about stock dividends and financial things, but what about the memory dividends? What about the things that your kids and grandkids would say about you that you could do with them now while you're alive, while we're hopefully have some good health, while we have some time? So we want to take all these things and put it together, but in the first stage of bucket planning, we would want to make sure you have enough money to do the things that we just said. I want you to think about doing it while you can, while you have the time, while you have the money. That's the first stage. That will be the most active, okay? This is going to be the most active stage. The second stage would be a little combination of both. Maybe you don't travel as much. Some people call these, the go-go years, the slow-go years, and the no-go years. But I want you to make sure that we're having fun in your first couple of stages, maybe hopefully all 3. But sometimes our health changes, sometimes financial things can change. That's why we want to do the bucket planning accordingly. So the first stage is the most active. The second stage here, maybe you still do some travel, still spending time with kids and grandkids, but maybe just not quite as much. And then the third stage out here is a slower time. As we get older, usually our health and things like that, as we just said, do decline. So we want to plan for all different stages, but we want to make sure we get you to retirement and we want to get you through retirement. But not just the financial things, taxes, investments, mutual funds. What is the purpose of all those tools and strategies? Well, the purpose is to help you have time to do the things that you want while you're able to. If you want to make sure to avoid a big mistake in retirement like the football team did when they had the game won and they took unnecessary risks, make sure to subscribe to our channel, Balanced Retirement Planning.